Our experiences shape who we are. I have lived in Israel 2 separate times, and because of this, my deep love for Israel has grown stronger, while my perspectives on conflicts that arise throughout the years remain complex. Many of you know my deep connection to the land I believe all Jews, past, present, and future, will always be tied to. My support for Israel will always be unwavering. While I continue to love Israel, I would like to share a story and perspective that has been challenging me as I continue to form my Zionist identity. In my first year of rabbinical school, I had the incredible opportunity to study in Jerusalem. I was ready to integrate into Israeli society as much as possible, but I realized in order to truly understand Israel, I needed to hear the stories of all people living in the land, including Palestinians. A group of classmates and myself traveled to the village of Khair in South Hebron, in which a Bedouin Palestinian village rested next to a large Israeli settlement. We were welcomed to the village by a kind gentleman, Auda Haflin. Auda's mission in life was to show others who the Palestinian people are, what they experience on a day-to-day basis, and find peace amongst all people. I was taken aback by Auda and his community's kindness. We ate lunch together, we held goats, learned about their village, visited their small school, and spent the evening together in a tent drinking hot, sweet tea. This experience was not coordinated by my school, but it was one of the most impactful moments I had. I kept Auda on my Facebook and would see how life would continue to treat him and his community throughout the years. As you can imagine, the war between Israel and Gaza has escalated tensions for Palestinians in the West Bank, like the village of Khair. I learned recently that Auda, a man whose mission was to work towards peace, was brutally murdered by an Israeli extremist this past week. This Shabbat, we begin the last book of the Torah scroll, Devarim. We are commanded that we shall not be partial in judgment. While this law is made in the context of setting magistrates amongst the people as they enter the land of Israel, I believe we cannot be biased in our own judgments when it comes to the lives of innocent people. As Jews, we believe in standing up for all who are oppressed, especially those who are citizens within our own land. Our Torah portion reminds us, too, that we shall conquer the land of Gaza, but we are responsible for the well-being of all people within the territory. This reminder that we are responsible for all of those within our land and our commandment to hold up the value of tzedek, justice, has made this ongoing war and conflict very difficult for us to wrestle with, especially as proud Jews and Zionists. Rashi, a Jewish medieval commentator, wrote that one shall not be in favor of one over another in judgment just because you owe something to someone or if one is richer than the other. As Jews who live out our value of justice, we cannot turn a blind eye to the violent acts Israeli extremists are taking just because they are within our house, Jewish or Israeli. As a people commanded to be impartial in judgment, we need to stand against when something is evil or wrong, even if it happens within our own people. Hours before I learned of Auda's murder, I began writing an opinion piece titled, "No, Israel is not starving out Gaza." My anger and frustration has exploded as I've seen the world blame Israel for the suffering Gazans have experienced. I wanted to share, no, Israel is not complicit in the Gazan suffering, and the rest of the world needs to wake up to that. We know that Hamas is causing this increased starvation in Gaza amongst the Palestinian people, especially since Israel and America have provided aid to the Palestinians, and none of it has been dispersed due to the failure of the UN and the evil that is Hamas. At the same time, my heart has been breaking as I hear of many innocent lives suffering from malnourishment in Gaza and violent extremists murdering Palestinians in the West Bank, including my friend Auda. I am sharing this vulnerable sentiment with you all because just maybe you have been struggling with your own morals, opinions, or thoughts as the war between Israel and the Palestinians continue to escalate. We can still love Israel with our whole heart while acknowledging that horrible things are happening to innocent people, both Israeli and Palestinian. As we struggle with our feelings, as news continues to break out about the war in Israel and Gaza, let us use Jewish tradition to help us cope and seek justice. Let us acknowledge our responsibility for all of humanity and demonstrate what it means to be a light unto all nations. With that, I'd like to share a poem called Permission by Rabbi Shira Levine. With the consent of the Almighty and the consent of this congregation, and a convocation of the heavenly court and a convocation of the lower court, in honoring those who passed before me, I hereby enter this service with a broken heart and with awe. At this time when the gates of heaven are open, let us pray for a swift deliverance in near time. Let us pray to sweeten the harsh decree. Let us pray for the return of the hostages. Our well-being is tied to theirs. Please, Eternal, do this for their behalf, if not for ours. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you. And we're on page 60, and we take a moment of silence, and we turn to page 62 to sing Yehilu Ratzon in a moment.